Hello everyone, here to do an update on my runes video since runes finally released in global and I didn't include blood enhancement last time, and I'm getting a ton of questions on them on the Discord every day, even though they've all been answered before. So basically just go through once again, add the blood enhancement part, give some examples of runes to use on people, etc. So let's start with how you get them. To get runes, there's basically two ways. One is you spend diamonds, and two is you get your free currency from the tower in time and space. If it decides to load. So as you can see, you get 5 chances a day. When you first enter, you will go through appraisal, right? Which basically means they test your teams. They make you do 2 6-person teams with 2 strikers each, and they test you to see how far up you start. When you're doing appraisal, best thing to do is try and balance both teams out rather than have one really strong team and one weak team. Basically that way you can get a higher score, and the higher you get, the difference between being lower level and higher level in a tower time and space is pretty much just the rewards you get here. So your essence, your mirrors when you finish matches, etc. It's not a massive difference, but you know, it accumulates and it's noticeable once the higher and higher you get. So doing this gives you rune coins. With 100 of these, you can do a temple on the free rune draw, basically, which if we have a look at now, you have a look at now in here. So if you go in here, you get both your draws, right? This one for the 3 currency. You always want to do the X10, particularly early on as we are now, since it guarantees you a purple rune. And then you have the one with diamonds. The difference is, as you can see here, this one only goes up to orange, this one goes up to red. Red runes are the most powerful ones. They haven't been updated whatsoever in China, so that's still the most powerful one, and they are incredibly powerful. Count them as bonuses rather than as what's going to be your mainstays. For most people who aren't whaling, your main runes that you want to equip are going to be orange. If you're whaling, then you can try and aim for red, but really what they are is bonuses. When you get one of these, you should be really happy. You shouldn't really spend diamonds and runes early on, outside of like if you want to do like 4 or 5 pulls to get a good basic pool of runes, because later on we get these rune events called hot runes, which basically what they do is they make 3 specific type of runes drop more often. So let's say in here it could be Blood Boil, Wolves and Thorns, right? That would be a pretty good one actually. And it makes those runes drop more often. It makes red runes drop more often. And when you do 10 pulls, so when you spend 8,800 diamonds, you have a guaranteed red. So not cheap, but that's when you want to do it, since not only do you have a guaranteed one after those 8,800 diamonds, you get a higher chance of getting them. The downside is, if they're offering 3 runes that you have no interest in, or they're offering 1 that you're interested in and 2 that you're not, then basically you're screwed. So how do runes work? So as you can see, I've got my characters all equipped. You don't have to have 6 of a particular rune. There's many different combinations, and different combinations suit different characters. So one of the questions I get asked the most, right, is how do runes work and how does burst work. So when you equip your runes, as it says here, you get a bonus for 2, 4 or 6 pieces of a set. These are affected by quality, so the higher the better the quality of your runes, the better the bonuses. When you have 2, it's just basically a numeric bonus, so like 6% attack, or for him it's going to be 4% crit and pierce. You know, different runes give different effects. But when you have 4, then you can activate them basically. So as you can see here, the explosive skill effect gives him 15% attack, 7.5% res, and he decreases target res rate for 2 rounds. And he recovers an explosive. He gets an explosive chance every other round basically. So on his case, on even rounds. So round 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, etc. In PvE settings, you can save up those chances. In the lower left corner, there's a button that says return. If you hit that, it'll stock it up and you can use it the next round. Can't do it in PvP modes, but it's useful for some harder hell stages or PvE better stages basically, like in tournament or not tournament, in the tower and stuff like that. But so this is what they refer to when they're talking about burst, is the 4 set piece bonus, right? So when Terry gets to round 2, he activates, and when he activates, he gains these bonuses here. Also, he gains this because I have the 6 set on him, so he does more damage to low HP fighters. So that's what the burst effect is. Now, if you want to see the effects of any rune at any color, the stat bonuses they give, you can just go in here into illustration, and here you can see the stats they give. As you can see, these are all at level 1, by the way, not upgraded. And you can just go here, go down, check the different bonuses, right, to see what they give and what they don't. Each rune has a specific stat, like 1, 3 and 5 have attack, 3 and 5 have attack and something else, as you can see. 2, 4 have HP and defense, and 6 is the odd one out because it gives you 2 random attributes. These are generally things like damage, res, pierce, crit, reflect, HP drain, stuff like that, and it's random every time you draw one. So this is the one where you have to chase for the stats you want. So this is where you're normally going to be spending diamonds. And in here you can see all the different set effects, what they give, as you can see. And again, you know, this improves with color. So if you go down to like purple, it goes from 39 to 23%, so it's a big difference. But then if you're running 6 red runes, then you're probably wailing and not that worried about it. So if you want, like for example, you can see that I've leveled up all my runes. That's because you can rebirth runes at any time, and you can also melt runes. So this is kind of like Essos. You go in here, you melt runes, you get essence for them. If you decompose purple or higher runes, you get a chance to get the mirrors that you need. Here we go. The mirrors that you need. Oh, I haven't got it up. Wait a minute, which one do I have upgraded? Let's see, is this one upgraded? Yeah, these mirrors that you need to break so you can keep on upgrading runes. What else? So if you want to rebirth a rune, they're actually fairly cheap, which is pretty good. So if you're going to decompose, you go into this tab on here. That's 20 diamonds. At 50 it's 25. I think it's 5 extra for every break you've done, but it's actually pretty cheap, so that's pretty good, and you know, it lets you feel safe in upgrading your stuff. But yeah, so that's basically it. So some examples of runes to run, like in bear teams for example, you want to be running at least a couple of wolves, unless you have an AoE character that can do it for you, because of this effect here, the 4 set, where it reduces target res rate. If you have this on someone like Cooler or Mukai who affect the whole enemy team, then it will reduce the whole enemy team's res. So you want to put them on your first slot on your bear team and just, you know, make them reduce the whole enemy team res, so then the rest of your characters can go in and just destroy them. This effect isn't as good, but you might want to, if you don't have someone like Mukai or Kula, want 2 or 3 people in your front line to have this 6 set, so they can get the bonus for hitting the high HP targets. And then on the back line you can put the ones I have on Terry, which is the Dragon Tiger ones, because it does the opposite, right? It does more damage to low HP people. Terry obviously benefits from a rune like this because with a set piece, when you hit low HP people, his splash damage gets increased as well, which means it's much easier for him to get extra kills. Generic like DPS setups look something like probably 4 gods and 2 elves. That's a pretty generic setup, you know, like 4 gods to Blood Boil, 4 gods to Dragon Tiger, depends what you want to upgrade. In my case, I like having more Blood Boil and Rob, but I'll probably change this later on once I get better runes. But yeah, like people like tanks, like on tanks who you want to last, or characters in the front line who you want to last, I would run either Thorns, because you get healed on hit, and that's a really nice bonus, right? That's a really nice bonus every time you get hit once he's activated, once he's done his burst. Or I'd run Protector's runes, simply because they're just typical tanky, pretty good, you know. Stops rage gain to an extent. This works really well on people like Omega or Halmaru, people like that. And on people who you have in the front line who are going to die early, in my case it's my Ignis, I like running the Earth set, because with 6 pieces, the round after he dies, he reduces the entire enemy team attack and res. So in a Tiger team particularly, that means that when Ignis dies, my entire team gets rage, their entire team gets decreased res and attack, and if I ult and can take advantage of that, that means that they're going to be that much more weakened than they were before. Couple that with, you know, the Wolves 4 set piece bonus, and you can keep them with lowered res for a long time, and it helps you just basically burst people down easier, which when you have Terry, it's what you want to do. When it comes to Blood Enhance, which is the part I didn't touch last time, so Blood Enhance does basically 2 things, right? The first thing it does is it gives flat stats, as you can see here. 500 attack, 2700 HP, 250 attack and defense, defense and HP, attack and HP. It follows the same order as normal runes, except for the 6th one always gives res, I believe. It doesn't change whether a DPS or, yeah, 6th one always gives res. And these just give you flat stats, which, you know, is always nice. These gems, you need to promote them. You get these raiding in main and elite campaigns. They don't drop every time, you know, they drop randomly. You can do like a 10x and get no gems, but they have a fairly decent drop rate. Like, you get about, I'd say, 30 to 40 chests for every 10 raid, so it's pretty decent. They drop random gems, like they drop all of the gems, but in random quantities. You don't get to choose them. And then you have Transmutation, which what this does is, instead of giving you flat stats, although it does give, you know, priority every time you upgrade it, it gives you bonuses that affect the runes your characters have equipped. So if you look here, right, the first bonus increases your rune level by 5 levels. Second one increases the attributes they give, so the stats, by 8%. The third one gives you the set attribute increase, so like the 2 set bonus that gives you 6% attack, it increases that by 3%. And all of these stack as you move along, so the higher you get, the better it gets. To upgrade these, you need to have all of the runes at a certain colour, like all green, all blue, as you can see here. And you need to have these. Now, to get these, the only way to get these in global right now is with diamonds. I'm not sure if they're even enabled in the Mystic store at the moment, but that's the only way to get them. And I believe you also get some once we get the anniversary fishing badges and the anniversary badge, where you get rewards for your activity level. I think you get some of these every week, but it might come from tournament or club battle or something like that. I'm not entirely sure. I know you get some free ones every week from some activity, but other than that you have to spend diamonds for those. So these are basically what gatekeeps you from upgrading this too much. So yeah, basically that's all there is to it. As it goes for what runes you should put in certain characters or not, I hope what I said earlier helps a little bit. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments or pop over to the KOF United Discord. I'll leave the link in the video. We have a section there with the rune information that basically gives you an idea that Taco EDF wrote a while back, and it gives you a bit of guidance on what you want to do and what you don't want to do. But I think generally they're pretty self-explanatory, right? Like, I'm always going to put Thorns in Karate too, because he has natural healing, which with extra healing is even better, and he gains reflection, which he has natural reflection as well. So it just makes sense to give it to him, and it makes him a tournament monster. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about that. If you have any questions, let me know. If not, pop over to the Discord if you need anything or just want to chat. Quite a lot of information in there, useful information, so hopefully this helps someone. See you next time.